Aston Villa's start to this season has been a bit like this, right? There has been, well, actually, to be fair, it was more like this. And now it's picking back up again a little bit. A little bit. But I think there's still going to be work to be done in the January transfer window, considering I don't think we had a spectacular summer. Obviously, this summer, ultimately, let's be fair, probably and likely led to the departure of Monchi from the club. We now have a new sporting director in, one that's worked with Unai Emery before, came through with Unai Emery in La Liga as a player as well. And I think there is going to be work to be done this January. You know, I think that's obvious. I think that's fair for everyone to see. So I thought today what we're going to do is we're going to go through the entire team, every position, look at who we have, and grade each position from, let's say, F. We'll do it like a school test, right? I know that they've changed it to numbers now, but I'm old school. It's F to A. We'll ignore A pluses and stuff like that. But we'll go F as in we really need to sign some players. And A, I'm not too worried about this position. Let's have a look. That now I've got my voice back. I don't know if you could tell it was going at the end of that little segment right there. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe down below. We're on the road to 4,000 Aston Villa legends on this channel, and I can't do that without you guys as well. The amount of people non-subscribed to the channel watching the videos is up there. Let's get it down to 0. Everyone click the button. It's free, takes no time at all, and it supports me ever so much. And if you do play FPL, we have the Rodgers Reports Classic code down in the description below and on the screen now if you wanted to get in on that action and see whether you can beat me. Spoiler alert, you probably can because I'm not very good at FPL. But without further wasting of any time, let's have a look at our last lineup, so the lineup that played against Burnley, and analyse every position and see where Villa need to strengthen in January, identifying, well, I already know one major problem area, and it's a biggie. Here is the last team that played. So we'll start off, obviously, with the goalkeeper situation. Emi Martinez played through an awful calf tear. Put up a picture of the bruise. Oh my God, I feel for him. Now, obviously, the relationship between Martinez and the club has been somewhat soured by the antics of the summer, but ultimately, he has come back in and he has been proving himself as our number one. Now, obviously, on the bench, we have a very capable number two. Had an absolutely brilliant game against Feyenoord. Fantastic in the first game of the season against Newcastle. Has a Premier League clean sheet to his name. And obviously that is Marco Bizot. Very, very capable number two. We definitely upgraded that number two position. Obviously the number one position has stayed as Martinez. And then number three, we generally bring in, I think it's Sam Proctor from the under-21s. Also James Wright, I think, has been on the bench a couple of times also from the under-21s. Now it isn't the same tactic that the bigger boys go for, right? When their third choice keepers are usually ex-Premier League keepers that are on their way down, right? Liverpool have Freddie Woodman signing from Preston, I think. Obviously, Scott Carson was at Man City for years and years. I think Heaton might still be at Man United as well. And that's how those teams do it. But I'm happy with a youngster being the third choice keeper. So in terms of goalkeeper position, if we just get rid of Martinez here and we'll just say goalkeeper, I'm going to give it an F. I don't think we need to sign anyone. If Martinez is going to stay at the club until the end of the season, he's our number one. Bizot, very capable number two. Definitely an upgrade on Robin Olsen. And then a youth player as our third choice goalkeeper. I don't think you really need a flash, fancy third choice keeper. Let's be fair, they play one game every 10 seasons. And the youngsters have to get a chance somehow, don't they? So keeper, I'm going to have to give an F. I don't think we need a goalkeeper personally. The right back position, obviously a hot topic for Villa fans, and it has been for quite a while now. We have currently Matty Cash holding down that position. Andres Garcia might not exist anymore. He's been out injured for quite some time, and I don't know when he is going to be back. I don't know whether Emery even trusts him. And then that is it. Tristan Rowe had a decent pre-season. He has gone out on loan somewhere. For the life of me, I can't remember. I'll pop it up on the screen, a picture of him playing. And that's pretty much it. There's no one really in the youth setup. It would have been Tristan Rowe that I think would have been able to come through and play that right-back role. So it's just Cash and Andres Garcia. Obviously, we sent everyone else out on loan. Now, Cash has had a very, very decent... Hey, you guys know my part-time job is a professional Matty Cash hater. He's been all right the last few games, but I just do think maybe it's a position that we could strengthen. But I don't know who's out there as well. You know, so for right-back, let's go C. Like, I wouldn't be mad if we signed a new first choice, like a big marquee first choice right back this sort of January transfer window. Are we going to get that in January? Probably not. The one that everyone wants is Denzel Dumfries. Is he going to leave Inter Milan now? Probably not. And again, I don't really know who is left out there to come in as that right back. So maybe comment down below. Are there any right backs out there that I'm missing? I mean, I would have loved that Brazilian guy. Was it Wesley Franca? Went to Roma, I believe it was, in the end. But, you know, right, we can... Lindelof has been deployed there. Begard can play there. It's not the top of the priority list anymore for me. But moving on to the centre-back role. And we'll start with the right centre-back role. Bogard, Konsa, Lindelof can play there if he really needed to. I don't think we really... I mean, Konsa, unless Konsa gets like a really serious injury, which, you know, touch wood, he hasn't. In the entire time he's been with Villa, he's been pretty injury-free. He's never getting displaced from this team. And if we do need to, we can bring in some players from the youth team. We can bring in Lindelof. We can bring in Begard as a centre-back option if he just needs a rest. But otherwise, I don't think Konsa is ever getting displaced from that team. So I'd probably give it an F. I don't really think we need one, to be fair. I think we've got all the cover that we need. And it's kind of similar with the left centre-back position as well, right? Pau Torres, Tyrone Mings is a little bit injury-prone. Obviously, the 2 ACLs in the same leg, reconstructive surgery both times. He's out with an ankle injury or a heel or foot injury at the moment. Pardon me. But Pau's come in. Pau's playing really well. Again, we have cover. You know, Kamara can drop in at centre-back as well. Digne we've seen deployed as a centre-back. I don't like it, but we've seen it. So I think it's a little bit more pressing, the left centre-back position, than the right centre-back position, but I'd probably give it an E. I'm not too concerned about it at all. And then moving on to the left-back position, Luca Digne is currently still holding down that starting position. We have Ian Maatsen, who's played really, really well this season, for my liking, as well out there that can come in. Generally is playing the cup games and playing the European games, which is something that we saw in the Champions League last season. Ian Maatsen got a lot of starts for us in the Champions League and played a lot of minutes. Digne was preferred in the Premier League, probably just due to experience in general. And then if we needed to, Travis Patterson played a decent amount of minutes with us in pre-season. He can come in and play that left-back role as well. We've seen Tyrone Mings be deployed as a left-back as well. So for that reason, to be fair, I'll probably say B. F. E. There you go, E. I don't really think we need one, to be fair. I think I'm happy with Digne and Maatsen being the 2 options there. Now, these 2 you can kind of lump together, right? Our centre mid, maybe we switched to 4-4-2 quite heavily in our last game, and there'll be a video on that tomorrow on the channel. But the CDM role, right? Now, the only thing that makes the CDM role for me a little bit more pressing is the fact that Onana and Barkley can probably play about 90 minutes of football per 6 months before they're both out injured. However, the performance of that man right there, Lamar Bogard, God, he was good against Burnley. God, he was good against Feyenoord. He is really coming into his own this season. It gives us a really valid option to keep other players out of the squad. John McGinn also drops into that pivot role and does it fantastically as well. We still have Yuri Tielemans to come back from injury, and I know what I said about Onana and Barkley, I don't think that applies to Tielemans. He played so many minutes last season. I think to say that he's injury prone would be a disgrace, as Didier Drogba said in the Champions League final now, or semi-final, whatever it was. So for that, I mean, you know, Barkley is back from injury. Onana is back from injury. I don't think any of them displace these 2 at the moment, Kamara and Begard. That looks really, really solid against Burnley, and it allows Kamara to go forward a bit. You can, again, like I say, put a McGinn in there, put a Tielemans in there. You can put Onana and Barkley in there. They are more attacking-minded than Kamara and Bogard. But for that reason, I think if they all stay fit, and I do think that we got unlucky with the fact that all of them just got injured at the same time, I don't think that's going to happen again for the rest of the season. So I don't particularly think we need anyone to fill that void. You know, and there are obviously youth players that can come through as well. I can't remember his name. Played quite a decent amount of minutes in pre-season. Looked really, really good. I'll throw a picture of him up on the screen. he can come in as well if we really needed to in the cup games like the FA Cup. Obviously, Carabao Cup, we just said we ain't interested so far. We ain't interested. Now, moving on to our right wing position. So, McGinn has been deployed there quite a lot recently. We also have Donyell Marlon, who can play out wide, but I think after that Burnley game, he has shown he is probably better in behind the striker or as the striker. Rodgers can play over on the right. Doesn't seem to be how he wants to use him this season. And then Harvey Elliott can also obviously play over on the right. Bundia can play over on the right. The one thing I would say is I would like a dedicated right winger. We have lost that in the last 2 seasons. We've lost Moussa Diaby and Leon Bailey. We haven't really replaced them with an out-and-out, pacey, direct right winger. So for that reason, I would actually probably place this as a C. Same as the right back. I think our right side is probably our weakest side. I know we have Elliott again. I like Elliott as a number 10. You know, Sancho's going to play out on the left. I think, again, we haven't replaced Diaby or Bailey, really, in the team. So it's definitely a position I think we should look at going forward. Now, moving over to the left wing position, we have Rodgers that can play out there. McGinn can play out on that left-hand side. Maatsen has been deployed a little bit further forward in the past. And we have Jadon Sancho, who, for my money, in terms of like minutes played, has looked so good. He's currently been ill over the last sort of 3 game weeks, but he's not injured, just ill, which is always good because it means he's going to come back from it and it shouldn't have any long-term effects on him. And like I say, Rodgers is going to hold that position down. Yes, he's not playing fantastically this season, but I'll give it an E, purely because Rodgers hasn't been great. We don't know how much Sancho is going to be utilised, but I don't think it's a position that we need to look into sort of like ASAP Rocky. I think we can relax on it a little bit more. Now, the second striker, Donyell Marlon kind of played there in like a 4-4-2-y type position, and I think he was just absolutely incredible. Obviously, Bundia can also operate in and around that area. Rodgers can come in to that area and play there very, very well. And then we still have Yuri Tielemans, last season's player of the season, to come back. So for that reason, our second striker, I'm going to give it an E. Again, I'll give it a D, because if we could get like an out-and-out number 10 to sign for the club, would anyone complain? And I think the formation is slightly going to be changing this season. We've already seen it in that Burnley game. But I'm pretty happy with the lads that we do have in. Now, up front, we have Ollie Watkins. I think that's about it. I think that's about it. Now, we're being heavily linked, as you've seen in the thumbnail, with Jean-Philippe Mateta. And I think, personally, if we just... Let's get this out of the way. I think we need a striker in January. Donyell Marlon, I don't think Emery sees him as a number 9. So who else is there? Do you call up Rory Wilson from the youth team setup? Probably not. You know, we've got Bradley Burrows in the youth team. He's not an out-and-out number 9. Ben Broggio, not an out-and-out number 9. So we are struggling for that position. You know, ultimately, we have lost John Duran, who was our number 9, and we've given the number 9 shirt. That's how you know you're desperate. You're giving your number 9 shirt to Harvey Elliott, who's primarily played centre mid at Liverpool over the last few seasons. Do you know what I mean? So it's a bit worrying, and we have no one. And I think maybe Marlon getting these 2 goals will finally spark Watkins into a little bit of realisation that his position isn't secure. But I think we need a target man, number 9, finisher. Mateta would be absolutely brilliant. I don't think he'd leave Palace, but he would be an absolute dream to have at the club for the next few seasons. But I think we need someone. We need a number 9, whether it's direct competition for Watkins, or whether it's a backup that is competition, like John Duran, a younger player that can come in and get starts and get goals. But if we could only sign one player in January, for me, it would be a striker. And in terms of current transfer rumours, so I've just gone around and looked at a couple of different websites, and we're going to go through them and go through all of our transfer rumours, just in terms of what I've just said. And there's a couple that are very interesting. Like I say, Jean-Philippe Mateta is the one that won't go away. He's an absolute nightmare to play against, bullies defenders, scores brilliant goals, and Villa have been linked with him. Now, another striker that we've been linked with has had a very, very impressive start to life in the Premier League, and that is Wilson Isidore from Sunderland. We've also been linked to Semenyo, not a striker, but a fantastic player, Kobbie Mainoo, and Dayot Upamecano. The one that we've been linked to really is Kang-in Lee, PSG forward striker, kind of more of a forward. But again, I don't know whether that one would go anywhere. But you could see 3 strikers linked, 4 attackers if you look at Semenyo as well. The Kobe Mainoo one, interesting. I don't think we need anyone in that position. Personally, I'd love one of the two. Mateta or Isidore. I think we need a striker. We need an out-and-out number 9. We need a goal scorer, a clinical goal scorer, and a big man up top. What do you guys think? Leave your comments down below. And I'll see you tomorrow for a video all about how Lamar Bagard might have just unlocked Villa, going back to our 2024 best.